Hey, from Sweep Sports Analytics, and welcome to our first sports analytics tutorial. There may be many more, there may not, I really don't know, but it looks like there have been some requests from a bunch of followers on Facebook and Instagram and on our website, and people want to know how to do their own analytics. And with the plethora of data out there and the trend in sports analytics, I think anyone should be able to get their hands on data. So there are a bunch of free resources out there. Of course, there are a lot of paid resources as well. But what we'll do today is focus on using R and RStudio to pick up some free data from fbref.com. So first thing, go and download and install R. You can download it for Linux, Mac, or Windows. You just click on it, follow the instructions. It should be fairly straightforward. Once you do that, go and download RStudio. There are links in our post on the website, so you can go click on the link and then choose RStudio Desktop, download it, and you should be set to go once you install R and RStudio. Okay, so let's jump right into R. Step 1 again was installing and downloading R and RStudio. Step 2, this is what RStudio looks like. This is a clean machine. You can pretty much change the format. You can change what it looks like. It's all in white right now, but you can change it to a bunch of different themes. I don't remember how to do that. You get some profile or something. But anyway, you can Google that or something. You can find that out. Okay, so step 2 again is install packages. And that's pretty much the cool thing with R. You can go ahead and first, we will install packages one by one. Okay, yeah, well, the cool thing in R is that there are a bunch of packages out there that people create. It's open source, and what these packages do is they have predefined functions that you can use. Okay, what happened here? No package called color space, so that means I will have to go in and install this package, color space. So I will actually move this up. So let's go over the install packages part again. Okay, so for these two commands, if you are prompted, type no and enter. I'm not entirely sure why. I understand though why to do that. So install sources, type no and enter. So install this. Install this package. It should prompt us again. Okay, no. Oh. There we go. And then we'll install these packages as well. Yeah, so what I was saying is that R has a lot of cool packages you can use. So you can just click on whatever you want to do. Just Google how to do that with R. Usually there will be a package for pretty much anything you can imagine, unless you're doing something super crazy, which I can't even think of what that would be, so I can't give you an example. But yeah, there are packages for anything you want, and maybe if you become good enough, you can read your packages one day. So we're still installing these packages. Got the last one, so that's it. We're done with step 2. Well, technically not done yet, but yep, we are done. So I will click on this up here, and step 2 is done. So let's go and load these libraries then. So we install the packages. Once they're installed on your system, on your machine, you won't ever have to install them again, probably. But yeah, probably you won't have to, probably. I don't think you actually have to, just you never know. Okay, library. You can actually do these all together, so you can select them all and do command and enter or control and enter. Okay, so that's step 3. We loaded the libraries and we're pretty much ready. The next step is we want to read the URLs from fbref.com. So let's have a look at what this looks like. fbref.com. Just type it in Google search. So It's the first thing that comes up, obviously. It is a pretty awesome resource. You can type in any football or soccer player you want and they will have them. So let's see, Karagunis. Yeah, that's true. I can confirm. Actually, I can't because I really don't know where he was born or when he was born. But yep, that's where he played. All the way to Fulham. Even though he did play somewhere else before that. But yeah. Let's go to the Euros, actually. Let's go to the competitions. And men's international cups. And let's go to the UEFA European Football Championship. Okay, so where we are right now is in the UEFA page. Actually, let me start showing this. Sorry, this is in Greek. I'm using a different computer so that I can demonstrate what it would look like on a fresh machine, because my R is kind of a bit different, so I just want to demonstrate how it would look like on someone that's just downloading R and just using RStudio. So yeah, this is the URL. We can pretty much look at any matches here we want. So if we want to look at Group A, for example, you can see Italy's match. Hover over here and you'll see that this is Italy's match against Turkey. So let's click on this, for example. What we have here is a URL, which we will use. We have a bunch of stuff here, like expected goals, the actual goals, a whole bunch of stats. This is pretty awesome, and the guys that put in the work here, or guys and girls, I don't know who they are, doing a pretty good job. Pretty good, amazing job, yeah. Okay, there are a bunch of different stats you can get from here. So this is a summary stat table. You have passing, pass types, defensive actions, possession, miscellaneous. You can go through these and look at them yourself. But what we want to do here is actually click on Share and Export, just to see what it looks like. So I'm copying this to the clipboard. And just to see what this URL is, in R, it has... doesn't look too good. It has a... do it here. It has a URL, and then it has this over here, and this is a node. Okay, so delete this. So keep that in mind. This table, the link for this table, this page and table pretty much, is a URL and a node. Okay, so what I did, and I preloaded this for you, and going forward you can do this yourself. What I did is copy all the URLs here for each group. So in Group A there were 6 matches. You can see it's Italy, Switzerland. The order, kind of ignore the order, it's not correct. But just randomly started selecting them. So it's Italy, Switzerland, Turkey, Italy, etc. Okay, so I will start running this, and you can see that Group A has 6 URLs, and then I will run this command, which is rbind. So what this says is I assigned this value to the object URL1, and this is pretty much a value right now. Okay, so we have this from 1 to 6, and when we run this command, and you can run it from here or Command Enter or Control Enter, it says rbind. So pretty much what this is, so I selected and run it, it is a group of other URLs. Okay, and we have this for all groups, so I will select them and run them. Okay, and that is step 4. Okay, so next thing we want to do is read a single pair of tables for a single game. Okay, so just open this up again, and the match I really enjoyed watching, Portugal vs France, and it is URL 35. And just close this again. And I'll just save this just for reference, because I'll be sharing this with you guys after I record this video. So we chose a game from the list of URLs. and I will name it selected game. Now we're going to do some data manipulation. If at any point anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out through Instagram or Facebook or through our website contact form. Okay, so don't have to go into too much detail. It's pretty much, I want to get from the URL, I'm pulling this part here. So I'm pulling it, and we get the game data. We get the date, the teams, team A, team B. Okay, so the date is June 23rd. Team A is Portugal. Team B is France. Then I'm going to define the node. The node is the one that we got from before. Pretty much either if it's defense or miss. There's a bunch of different nodes you can use, but I'm using this one for now. It doesn't make a difference. Okay, then I am adding the node to the URL, which is this here. Select the game. Make that change too. So this is a node. So the full URL is exactly what we had before when we copied from fbref.com. This. Okay. So first step here, we read the first table and add the date and teams. So there's from the library HTML something, I don't remember what it was called. Yeah, HTML tab, yes, the actual function HTML tab pulls data from fbref. So stat A, and what I will do here is cbind, combined columns. So I will add the date, team A, the opponent, and stat A. So what this will look like is, now I will choose it from here. This has a view. This is what it looks like. The date, the team, the opponent, and the player. So we can see there are 18 players. Oh, sorry, not my bad. I thought it was 18, but it starts from 3, so it's actually 16 players. And we can see the ones that were substituted in are indented here. But anyway, the whole point is that you can see the age, the minutes, performance, goals, assists, penalty kicks. And so Ronaldo scored 2 goals, 2 penalties, 2 penalty kick attempts. And what I'll do here, if you want to see what this looks like, well, first of all, there are 34 variables from this table. Let's go to football ref, and we will see that these are the variables. It's the summary table that we're pulling. It's performance, goals, performance, assists, performance, penalty kicks. So if you want to see what these mean, you can hover over and you can get an explanation. For example, carries, Prague, it's this. Dribbles, attempts, etc. SCA, shot creating actions. Goal creating actions. So these are cool stats, and you can see a whole bunch of these stuff. Even past that, it's crazy. So the point here is that we got this first table for the first team. Okay, now let's read the second table. So we got this for France as well. Now let's combine these by rows. So again, it's rbind. And as you may have seen, we have this, it's indented here. So we actually don't want that, because when we do our analysis, we want to make sure, for example, Bruno Fernandes, he was not subbed in, he was a starter in some games. So it won't match if you have spaces in front, white spaces, then it won't match, it won't combine the data from other data frames. So what I'll do here is trim it, and now we have stat both here, and it looks pretty good. And cool thing here with View, you can actually sort, so if you want to go and see who had the most touches, you can click on this. Well, actually, yeah, good point. You can see here that everything is a character. And we will be changing this to numeric later on. So right now, yeah, when you sort it, it thinks it's a character, so 1 is 1, 0, 10 is bigger than 3. Oh, sorry, it's bigger than 90. Actually, it's smaller because this is descending order. But anyway, the idea is that this is as character, so you can ignore it. But you can filter on this. And if you want to, for example, have a look at only the French team, you can filter. Okay, so this view, I really like using view when I create a data frame. Anyway, point being here is that we are done with step 5. So we read a single pair of tables for a single game. Congratulations, you got your first, maybe your first, I'm not sure how advanced you are in using R for web scraping, but you pretty much did some web scraping off of fbref.com. Step 6, out of the 11 steps, that 11 steps is the distance from the goal, the distance of the penalty spot from the goal. So, step 6, read all tables for all games. What we'll do here is combine all game URLs for all groups, and we have URL group A to F. We R-bind them as rows. So we found this and we got them all, 1 to 36. As this goes forward, we will have probably here what I would do actually. I'm not sure if I am going to do it. Actually, I will. I will have a round 16, and I will have URL 37 here. And I'll have the URL for the first match, etc. I have the 8 matches there. But I'll just delete this for now and close it and save it. So select the URLs. We got all the URLs. Next step, I will initialize the tables because I want to use them for something. And use them for something. I want to use them to save and store data. So we start by a for loop. And what this says is I named this as G, which is pretty much imply that it's a game, for 1 in length selected URLs. So the length again is 36, those 36 games. So G will take a value from 1 all the way to 36. So when this loop starts, G will be equal to 1. By the time it ends, it will loop 36 times. It will end as G equals 36, and we should get the data for everything. Okay, so what we do here is we get the game info from the first URL. So again, G will be equal to 1 here, and we will get, similarly to the above process, we will get the game data, the date, the teams, etc. And then we will read the table and then do some more loops for the rest of the tables, because as you may have seen, we have the summary, passing, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different tables. Okay, so what we have here, this is the first pair. So it's 1, and then I will change, and it will be 4 is the second one, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it will be pretty much the initial one, and we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we will have these 6 tables. I won't have all of them. So some stats here we don't need, because they are already contained in the other tables. Okay, so this may take some time to run. So let's go ahead and click on it. And yeah, let's wait. While we are waiting, there are a few things we can talk about here. So just a quick explanation of what is happening in the loop. So the first pair of tables is exactly what we did before for the France and Portugal game. Then in the for loop, what I've done is I have this I here, which keeps increasing. Increases what though? So you will notice that In this table, for the first pair of tables, there's a which clause here, because what happens is HTML tab, when it reads fbref, there are a bunch of, so this will be one table, this is another table. So this table has the ID 4, this which equals 4, okay? And in the summary for Italy, this table has the ID 11. Now, I don't remember how I found that. I think I did some trial and error. I pretty much did this HTML tab, kept changing the which, and found which table to use. But yeah, you can do that yourself. You can just start put in your own URLs there, change the which, and you'll just keep waiting to see what till you get the correct one. There should be a better way, but yeah, I'm kind of I'm usually in a hurry to do things, so just did some trial and error. Maybe it ended up taking more time than I would have if I actually looked it up or looked for some documentation, but yeah, it is what it is, so I'm saving you guys time, so don't worry about that. So yeah, anyway, so the first table is 4, the second one is 11, there's a difference of 7 here. So what I'm doing is, after 4 I know that I want table 5 and I want table 12. So down here we have the loop. So we need this initial table to define the first data frame, which is allstat. And then what I'm doing is I change this to I keep this as 4, and this will be 11 again, and then I keep adding. So when I say keep adding, it means that this loop will keep increasing the tables so that we get all the tables. Okay, so yep, we got the full stat. We combined all the tables there. I'm pretty sure my explanation before was not didn't make too much sense, but if you do have questions, just reach out. I mean, I haven't practiced this. I have no script I'm running through. I'm just talking as I go along. Okay, so we got our full stat table. It looks like there are 188 variables and 1,099 observations. So it's 36 games, around 30 players per game, so it kind of makes sense. Now, first I will remove any duplicates, even though I don't think there are any duplicates. So yeah, that's what unique does, so there are no duplicates. Now I will remove any trailing white spaces, as we did before. So all stat full. I'll click on this. So this is what we got. All the players. So if I sort Ramsey, his 3 games against Turkey, Switzerland, and Italy. He had 1 goal against Turkey. So we have player, date, team, opponent, the number of his jersey, the position, his age, minutes, etc., and 188 more things. So what I know is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, these first 7 columns are not numeric. Well, this is numeric, but I don't really want it to consider it as a numeric. I don't really care about it. Number of the jersey. Unless you're superstitious and you think that there's some analysis you can do on like correlation of the jerseys, and that actually gives me a good idea. I mean, that would be some cool analysis. Like, does a number 10 deserve to wear the number 10? That would be pretty cool. So yeah, no, still, I don't care about it right now. I might change it at some point. But for now, what we're saying is the first 7 columns we can keep them as a character, but we need the rest to be numeric. So what I'm doing is I'm combining the first 7, keeping them. I'm combining these columns, and for the columns 8 until the end, which is this end call, I am mutating them and making them numeric. So you can just blindly follow this. All stat full. There are a couple of warnings. I've checked these are fine. There's no issues there. And what we'll do now is export the table to CSV, because if you've done any type of analysis or well, pretty much work in a business environment, you've probably used Excel or CSV files. So, yep, let's export it. Once we've exported it, we can open it on Excel. First of all, I want to say congrats, guys. Step 6 is done. You just read all the tables for all games for the Euro 2020 Championship. You're one step closer to doing your own analysis. So what does this file look like? I've opened it up in Google Drive, and I will be sharing this link with you. You can actually, you can go ahead and download it, and you can open it up on your own machine, on your Excel or whatever spreadsheet tool you use. So what this looks like is this. If you want, you can start doing your own stuff here. Like let's say insert, let's do a chart. Though with 188 columns, it might be a mess. Okay, so data range. I'll clean this. Actually, I will add a. Oh, this is crazy. What a mess. Yeah, I'll just start removing these stuff. Oh, okay, no, I can't remove this, so I will create. I'll just delete this. So I'll do a quick table, a quick chart here for you. For anyone watching the video, because this is not in the post on the website. Okay, so let's do. Well, actually, I won't do a chart here. I will do a pivot table. Okay, so we have a pivot table. I just selected all the data, a new sheet, and let's start by looking at, well, the number of the jersey. That's a pretty good idea there. Okay, I will add this as a row. And then let's add the expected goals as values. Click on values and then went to expected goals here. Yep. And let's do a average. And now let's do this as a, let's reformat it. Let's make this look like, well, keep this as a number, but I want to okay, and now let's do sort by average of expected goals. I want it to be descending. Okay, this is pretty cool. Yep, so as expected, players with the number 7 have the most expected goals. Players with the number 9 have, and the number 10 have the second most. Players with number 22 and 19 are next. And I'm pretty curious here because I'm not sure who these folks are. So I will double click, and there we go, all the players with the number 22. Yeah, there we go. Okay, these guys are good. Dumfries, Juba, I mean, makes sense. Quasson, Sarabia, yeah, these guys had a, how many goals did they have? Yeah, okay, well, only four goals, but in total, they had 4.1. expected goals. And a couple of folks had Dumfries and Zhu, but they had 0.8 in a couple of matches. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't know. I had no clue. And thanks a lot, guys, for asking me to do this video, because I actually found out that number 22 and 19 are pretty good numbers. So times are changing. Yeah, well, let's jump out of the spreadsheet format. And again, you can download this. I'll share it. Let's create the summary data frame, pretty much a pivot table, just like we did here. So this is a pivot table. We grouped the players by the number, and we selected a value and made an average here. We can do a sum. We can change the value. We can say how many goals do players score with this number on their shirt. We can use an age. We can use pretty much anything you want here. But what we'll do in R is create a pivot table for all the stats. First of all, I noticed that there were some columns that would mess up our pivoting, so I have removed these. I want to say that you see all these x and .x and stuff. That's because I will do col names here, which is the names of the columns, and I'll stat full. We have been merging when I selected the tables, I duplicated some tables. Pretty much, it doesn't have an issue, it doesn't create an issue, but it does duplicate some of these values. So, for example, the position is there not just twice. It's because it's in all tables. You have the position here, and passing you have it again. It just creates these columns again. Generally, good practice is to clean these up, but I was just kind of bored to do that. Just wanted to get along with the analysis, so I just keep them there. Just make sure you don't get confused. And if you do get confused, you can start deleting these by marking them as null, or you can do some other stuff to like select which columns you want. You can select which ones you want to be excluded and everything. Anyway, what we'll do here is go to pivoting finally. There we go. I took the all stat full table, I grouped it by player, and I summarized it as a sum. Summarized every single value there as a sum. So all stat full from 1099 observations is now down to 470. So there have been 470 players that have played so far. View all stat full, and this is the view. So again, this is sorted. Ramsey played a total of 263 minutes, had 1 goal, had 4 shots. Let's click on filter and have a look at our man Ronaldo. Actually, sorry, not Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, for the people that were born before, well, in the great time when the real Ronaldo was around. So this guy played 270 minutes, stoppage time not included, had 5 goals, 1 assist. I mean, he had, well, 3 penalties, okay, but still, it's not the easiest thing to score a penalty unless you are Ronaldo. And he had 8 shots, 3 on target, a whole bunch of stats. I'm closing this. So you got step 7 done too. You created a summary data frame, a pivot table pretty much, in R, and as a bonus, if you're watching the video and not just following the tutorial on our website, you also did that in Google Sheets, or you can do that in Excel as well. Okay, so let's start our analysis. We're going to do radar plots today, so we will select our players. Now, for this specific type of analysis, I recommend using 8 players because the results look a little bit better, and you'll see why. So first, let's do this. We have our selected players. What it says is, I want to make a subset from the all stat full data frame, and I want to select rows where the player is equal to Mbappe. This here means or. So it's Mbappe or Griezmann or Harry Kane, Havertz, Ronaldo, Morata, Depay, and Schick. Okay, so that was step 8. We just selected our players. Cool. Almost done. Create the radar plots. So attach the data frame. Then what we did was, I'll go to column names again. Column names, selected players. these are all the columns available. So if you get acquainted with what is here, you can start, you will know what to look for. So what I wanted to look at was the expected goals. So I went to expected x, g, well, I did y here, but you can use, well, I'll do y, x. The successful dribbles, successful passes, shots on target. I will, target and key passes. So let's click on this. And we created our data frame, which has for the 8 players their values. Now, if we want to plot these, we will have a problem, because if we plot these on the same scale, we will see that the expected goals, like 0.9 compared to 109, so it's going to be a graph that looks really, really bad. So, well, first of all, I want to make sure these are numeric, so I mutate them all again. So I'll go back to the scale and just demonstrate why I'm doing this. I'm standardizing these. So yep, these are the regular, you'll see the plot down here. This is what it would look like. Not this. Yep, this is what it would look like if you did not standardize it. You see passes, it just looks like you can't pretty much tell between the differences, tell the difference between all of the other variables, because this value, the passes are so big that you just can't see anything else. So what we do is standardize these. Okay, so that means std equals t. Run this again, standardized, and we get our radar plots. Yay! Morata. Shots on target. Good for you. And shots. Excellent. Griezmann. What? Those passes are amazing. Ronaldo. Expected goals. Yeah. Because people call you Penaldo, even though I really, really love Ronaldo. He's awesome. I love all players. Almost. Well, Ronaldo's pretty cool anyway. Mbappe, look at those dribbles, even in the group of death. Well, Ronaldo had that in group of death too. So, Depay, I mean, Memphis Depay, key passes, Schick, shots on target. Harry Kane, don't get me started. So yeah, we got our radar plots. Next step, step 11. Let's start making this look a little bit nicer. We will do this create a range, just to make sure we have these in the right format, which is what we want to have. We will use this cow plot and add a theme, as well as a title, a subtitle, and a caption. So I created this in G2. If I run G2, it will show us the whole chart. And now I will save it locally with GG save. Okay, so what I can do here is yep, this is saved. This is a PNG, and this is it's saved. You can download this, use this, do whatever you want. One issue though that we see is we don't have an explanation of what these are. So I mean, we do know what this is, but we need to explain it to someone else if they want to use it. So let's go back to R and let's create a table with descriptions. So what this does is create a data frame. In one, we have the category, which is the column names for this here. So we use these, and then we have the description. So let's create this table. Descriptions. There we go. Prepare it to add it to the image. Run this, save it. Let's have a look here. There we go. We have the description. 10 10 steps in R. That's it. Thanks a lot. What's the 11th step? Interpreting this. That's up to you. That you need to be a domain expert in anything you do. So if you want soccer, you better understand what expected goals are, what key passes are, what these mean. Because the next step to do your own analysis is, first of all, you want to select the players you want to look at. Maybe you want to select the teams you want to look at. Okay, so which players stand out? Look at that. Why do they stand out? Then you will select them. You can change the players here. And then most importantly, when you create the radar plots, you will go in and you will change these. So for example, call names. Selected players. Let's say you want to look at, you don't want to look at shots on, well, passes. You want to look at blocks. Let's look at blocks, yeah. Blocks here. What you'll do is, the blocks here, change this to, okay, run it. So we got the blocks. Kai Havertz was awesome. Oh, Harry Kane was pretty good with blocks too. I hope he wasn't blocking his own players because England barely scored. So, and then what you'll do is down here you will go and change this too. So you will change, you change the passes. So let's change it to blocks. Okay, and descriptions. First of all, let's and there we go. You have blocks. Well, it doesn't look good here, but if you click on the zoom, it'll look a little bit better. So there we go. And if you do GG save, you have it on your machine, and you can change the players, change the categories, have a nice little view here, and kind of see who performed better. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm not sure if it made, well, which parts did not make sense, but I hope they made sense for the most part. Again, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. You can subscribe to our website. Subscribe on YouTube and TikTok, where this will be uploaded. This will be the first thing I'm uploading there, actually. So as you know, as part of Speech Sports Analytics, and yeah, please feel free to reach out for any questions and give me some feedback. I really don't know if this made sense, if it was too easy, too hard, if at any part I did something that you would like to change. And if you have questions, you want to make some additional analyses, just let me know. Okay, thanks everyone. Take care.